Welcome back. Got another job to do on this one today. We're still not quite on with it over yet. My welding is still, literally looks like a flock of pigeons flying through here. So we're going to carry on with this while I'm still practicing the welding. Let's get on and see what's happening. Yes. As you've heard us complain plenty, all the amount I used the car last year, the car's suffering, it's hurting quite a bit now. It's struggling with a few problems. Namely, one of the problems being that. Now the car's only been parked here for probably a week, but it hasn't actually ran here. That's literally just been parked, that's how much it's dripping out. Now, the V6s, anybody knows anything at all about the V6s, they know that the plastic rocker covers tend to leak. So what happens is, over time, when they get a bit old, they warp. So what happens is, the replacement for this is to fit them with alloy rocker covers from the Vectras, I believe they are. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So basically the mission is, once I've cleaned up the mess on the floor, because I've just nearly set my neck before there. Ooh, slippy. The mission today is to get to the front rocker covers, not a problem, that's like literally just the cover off, 8 or 12 bolts or whatever it is, bash, off and back on again. The rear rocker cover, to get access to it, I've got to take the inlet manifold off, so we'll just crack on, see where we get to with it. Hopefully we'll cure some of this oil leak, and also stop them lovely oily smells when I'm sat in traffic, because I don't know if I get some funny looks when the car stinks like it's going to go on fire. Result, let's get cracked on, see where we get to. The easiest way, and I'm sure someone's going to go, oh no, you didn't need to do all that. The easiest way I found to do it was to take off all of the screws for this wiring harness. There's a one underneath here, there's a one on the back of the manifold, there's a one on the side of the manifold, and there's another one down here on the side of the manifold. Took the cable off, the throttle cable off, just purely to give us access more than anything else, and took off the brake servo pipe off the back. Obviously there's 8 bolts along the front that lifted off, and there's 1 bolt down the back here that lives in there to get it off. The other thing I had to take off other than that was the fuel pipes. Hold on, let me just get where. There we go. The only thing I had to take off other than that was the fuel pipes, but if you get a look in there, you can see the oil in there. It's wet in there, and I know it's going to be, actually, that's a bit of a concern, because it's not actually that wet down the back. Not that wet at all down the back, so I wonder where the oil's actually coming from. Right, okay. Yeah, so that's where we're at. So yeah, I'll get these rocker covers swapped over and see where we go from there. Yeah, I think on further investigation I'm going to go ahead and change the rockers anyway, because you can see, I don't know if you can see or not, but they're dripping in there, so it's obviously leaking internally there into there. I'm expecting to see a lot more, I think, once I get this rocker cover off. But yeah, we'll just wing it off and we'll see what it's like. Right, that's the first cover on there. I do quite like that. Torque the nuts up. They should be 8 Newton meters, but I was told once over to actually torque them up to go a couple of Newton meters more, because it's only 10 basically is what I've done them to. Unfortunately, it didn't work out on my plastic covers, but hopefully it'll work out on these. It's not the end of the world if this does leak again, because we've got this which we're busy building at the minute. But that's by the by. So anyway, it would be rude while I was in there not to take my plugs out and inspect them. As it happens, I'm pleased I did, because they were actually soaked in oil, which is possibly where my little bit of a misfire has come from. But other than that, I'm quite happy with how they're burning. They're still burning clean. So yeah, so I've took the plugs out, cleaned them. I've cleaned the holes out of the oil. I'll basically pop the plugs back in now, whip my fuel lines back on, and then I can start and reset the manifold. Obviously, I've got a new gasket for the manifold to go on, but to be fair, I know it's a bit rough, and this isn't how we normally work here, but the gasket isn't actually damaged. I might just leave that gasket back on and just bolt it back on as it is, and deal with it later on. But yeah, once that's on, then it's just a matter of connecting up all the pipes and hoses. So we'll crack on and get that done. Right, and that's it. That's all we've got time for. I wish I could say that it was as easy as I made out in the video, but we did have a couple of small little snafus. Firstly, there was, well, took it out for a quick run. There was, there was a vacuum leak. Now, what it turned out to be was these little sticky up posts. Not these ones, but there's the ones on the back cover right underneath there, where the on the back cover. Right underneath the traction control unit, there's a motor that hangs down that controls the traction control flap. It was actually fouling on the rocker cover, caused the inlet manifold not to get locked down, actually not to shut down and seal across here, so we're actually getting a slight vacuum leak from there. So we cured that problem simply by literally just nip the grinder over the top, and we just flattened it down a little bit, give it a bit of clearance to get that in. So now that's all done, cured. However, that did not fix the oil leak. There was still oil leaking from the car, much sickness about it. I was probably gutted, I'll be honest. Investigated a little bit further, and it turned out that my oil pressure switch by the oil pump had actually just slacked off ever so slightly, and that's where it was leaking out from. So, tightened that up, cleaned it all down, took it out for a run last night. We're out for a good couple hours. We came back, and I don't know if you can all see my floor. That's been parked there overnight, and that is absolutely spotless. So I'm well over the moon with that. So yeah, that was this job done. Thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far, if anybody's tempting this themselves and they get a little bit stuck or need any help or anything, just give us a shout, and I will I'll do whatever I can to help out, you know, advice, suggestions, thoughts. Yeah, it's good to help out. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you all the next time. Cheers.